Hey, how's it going? I'm a psychiatrist and I was looking for a decent list of tools to give to my patients. And I just found that there's so much information out there and a lot of it isn't that helpful. So I wanted to make a list of the top 10 tools for ADHD and only include the ones that I think are practical, that are relatively easy to implement, and that make a big difference. And I'll just add the reason why I know that these are practical and they work is because I use them and they make a huge difference in my life. So this video, I'll just quickly name the 10 tips. And then in the next video, I'll go really slowly one by one about the best way to actually implement these tips. So this video is like 5 minutes long, whereas the next video will be like 25 minutes. So let's get right to it. The top 10 tools for managing ADHD, going really quickly. Number one is a calendar. So using one calendar, I recommend Google Calendar, to keep all your appointments and all your important dates, and for scheduling your day and all the tasks you need to get done. Which brings us to number two, which is keeping a task list. I like to use Google Tasks, but the idea here is to maintain one task list where you write down absolutely all the tasks that you need to get done. This is super important for task management and for remembering all the different things you need to do. Then this brings us to number three, which is a task prioritization system. So when I put tasks into my task list, I immediately assign it a priority level. So before the task, I either put an A, a B, or a C for each task. A is something that absolutely needs to be done as soon as possible. B is something that I need to do within a weekish. And then C would be some long-term task that I just need to eventually get done. This brings us to number four, which is the task breakdown technique. So here I take a big task and I break it down into super tiny, more manageable steps that make them feel less daunting. So for an example, I knew I wanted to create this ADHD top 10 list, but I knew I would never actually get to it if I just made it some abstract giant project. So I made sure to break it down into writing the script, recording the audio, putting together the video graphics, and then finalizing it for YouTube. And as you can see, it worked because you're watching this video. All right, now tool number five is the Pomodoro technique. This is a technique where you work in interval chunks. So you work for 25 minutes with absolutely no distractions. You don't check texts, you don't go on YouTube, you do nothing. And then at the end of those 25 minutes, you get a nice short break, so a 5-minute break. And then after 4 of these cycles, where you take 25 minutes on and then 5 minutes off, you would take a much longer break. All right, tool number 6 is the distraction log. So this tool works really well in conjunction with the Pomodoro technique. So what I do is I keep a notebook next to me while I'm trying to do work. And whenever a distracting thought pops into my head and my brain tells me I need to do this right now, I write it down in the notebook to remember to do it later and get back to the task that I'm working on. So as an example, literally right now, as I'm recording this, I realized, oh, I need to order a Halloween costume today so that it gets here in time for Halloween. But that's fine. I write it down in the little journal and I get back to recording and I'll take care of that later. All right, tool number 7 is the landing station. The idea is super simple. You have a specific spot in your home where you consistently place your most important daily objects. So I have what I call the landing station immediately when I walk into my apartment. It has chargers for all my electronics. And as soon as I walk into the apartment, I put down my phone, my wallet, my keys. And if any of these things are not in this landing station and I see them, I take it and I put it on the landing station. And my partner knows if she sees any of these things and they're not on the landing station, to put it on the landing station for me. This brings me to tool 7B, which is to streamline your essentials, aka the phone, wallet, key.
Phone, wallet, keys. Yeah.
So here you simplify your daily essentials to minimize losing things. The most practical example I can think of is my phone, wallet, key, which is just at the back of my phone is my wallet, and then in that wallet is my key, so that I literally only have one thing that I need when I leave the house, and that's my phone, wallet, key. All right, that leads us to tool number 8, and that's automatic payments. The tool here is that whenever you see that you can do an automatic payment for any of your bills, your credit cards, your internet, your utilities, you turn on the automatic payment right away. And then in the same vein, I use subscription services on Amazon for all my essentials. So I have a once a month subscription set up for coffee, set up for toothpaste, set up for floss. I have once every 3 months for my conditioner so that I always have all my essentials. And then I just turn off the subscription if I ever get too many of those products. All right, tool number 9 is simplify your environment. So tool 9A, turn off all notifications on your phone for non-essential apps. Tool 9B, unsubscribe from all emails that are not actually important. There's a website you can use, unroll.me. Tool 9C, make your phone home screen black and white. And then tool 9D, delete all those time-sucking apps, especially ones that lead to doom scrolling. And then our last tool is that remember that your thoughts matter. And when you catch yourself in a negative thought, use a replacement thought. A replacement thought has to meet the following two conditions. One, it must be 100% true. And two, it must crush the negative thought. And then other techniques for when you have those negative self-image thoughts. From acceptance and commitment therapy, there's the idea of instead of struggling against these negative thoughts, you accept them in, you make room for them, recognize that this is just your little monkey mind running around, and accept that just because you have the thought doesn't necessarily make it true. Another technique here is labeling. So here you recognize that a thought is just a thought and it's not a fact. So when I have thoughts like, you're an idiot, or I'll never get this done, or I'm such a screw up, take a deep breath. I label the thought. I say, I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. Or I give it some sort of label. And this small change can help create a little bit of distance between you and the thought. All right, so that was the top 10, just really, really, really fast. In the next video, I'll go really slow and talk about the actual best way to use these things to get the most out of them. And in the description of this video, I'll put some links to the different things that I talked about or that you saw in the video. So yeah, thanks for watching.